Hello colleagues, this video is for you. Yes, if you're the lead faculty for a degree program that's participating in the ACBSP reaccreditation process, you have a responsibility and we need your help, okay? Now this includes degree programs like accounting, all of the business degrees, culinary arts degrees, economics, we have the Tennessee transfer degree, for example, hospitality management, and office administration. So hopefully I haven't forgotten anybody, but in terms of the 10-year site visit, everybody listed here has a responsibility on Criterion 6, all right? So you have a role and everyone must be involved. We need your help, folks. We have to have your input because this will take you 2 minutes to do because you know your degree program. All right. So for each degree program for your discipline, you have to complete a template. The template shows your courses in 3 categories: professional component, general education, and business major. And I'm going to demonstrate this to you, and you just need to look at it, and you're going to have to kind of refresh the work that Lisa did for us 10 years ago. So she's really made our lives easy, okay? So to begin, you can and you should use the 2009 information. Well, where do you get that? Well, first of all, you've received the full 2009 ACBSP report no less than 3 times. I've sent it to you as a PDF file. Eddie sent it to you as a PDF file, and I sent it to you again very recently as both a PDF file and a Word document. So you have the full report in your emails. You just need to take a moment and look for it. But I am going to make it even easier for you because I have these Word documents of your degree programs of this template. So all you're going to have to do is open up that 2009 Word file and you're going to have to update it. Now, what are you going to have to update? Course rubrics. For example, let's see, accounting is still accounting. BUSN, goodness, we used to be things like FINR for finance and MKTG for marketing and a whole bunch of other ones. Well, now we just have BUSN, so that's something I'm going to have to update from my 2009 template. CULA did not exist in 2009, so all those HMGTs are going to have to be changed where relevant to CULA. OFAD, you guys are now ADMN, so you'll have to make those updates. And I'm sure there are many more, even things like speech, which is now COM, right? So even changes like that are going to have to be updated. Numbers, we all know course numbers have changed, and titles have even changed. Sometimes it's gone from principles of such and such one to just such and such one. So you'll have to keep an eye on that. And categories, and I'm going to explain categories. Yes, these are 3 categories, but there's actually a little bit more to the categories that I'll show you. This is all just going to take you a few minutes once you understand what you have to do, and I'm going to demonstrate it for you. All right, so what are you going to do? I'm going to send you the 2009 template. You are going to save it with a very meaningful name. Folks, this is important. ACBSP requires working with a lot of files, and so it becomes overwhelming if they are not named in a way that allows them to be easily recognizable. No one wants to open and close, 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 open and close 50 documents trying to figure out if this is the last one. So first of all, make sure that 2019 is in the file name. Second of all, if it is the accountancy degree, then it needs to say in the file name that it's the accountancy degree. If it's an AAS, it needs to say that. If it's the AS, if it's the AA, make it easy, folks. Just make it easy, okay? Once you have that 2019 or 2009 template saved with the current name, you're just going to update it. You're going to update it. I'm going to show you how to do that with the course rubrics, the numbers and the titles, and then you're going to email it to our team captain for Criterion 6, and that's Carl. So Carl's going to look at it. He's going to determine if there's anything that's, a mistake, anything else that needs to be updated. If so, he's going to send it back to you. We're not asking Carl to make all these changes. We need you to do that, okay? You're the expert of your degree program. And when the site team comes, they will ask, was everyone involved? And so that's our goal. We need you to be involved. You have an important contribution because you are the expert of your degree program and your discipline. So we need you to be involved. All right, so let me show you what you have to do. And I'm going to use the accountancy degree. So from 2009, look at this beautiful file name, 2009 AAS degree in accountancy. So I look at this, and I'm just going to first of all start with the title. This is important because business, for example, we used to be business and commerce, and we have changed that in some cases to simply business. So that might need to be updated. Make sure you look at that. This is the curriculum summary. That's what these are called. 60 credit hours. Make sure that's accurate. Some people have 61, so just make sure. And now we need to look at the course titles. Now, folks, you can tell by looking at this that these titles are out of date. ACCT is correct, but 1210 has not existed in quite a while. 1220, same thing. FINR, that's a business class now. That's BUSN, right? And it's not called business law anymore. It's called environment of legal business, or legal environment of business, I think. So I need to make sure it's 100% accurate, right? This course, this is not in our area, but it is part of our degree program. So this is now INFS, right? And the course number is different. 1010, the title is different. We need to look at all of this. Okay, so make sure that these, all of these courses, as you look through here, and right now I'm just focused on the course names. English Comp, make sure that's still correct. This is what you will see if you get to choose from among Gen Ed requirements, because the Gen Eds are explained in a separate document. Speech, this is not called speech anymore. This is COM. The number is different. The name is different, right? So double check all of these. And I'm just going to continue down, and it would really be helpful if you're consistent on the spacing, okay? So it's nice to have a space after the rubric, a space after the number. Don't run it all together, all right? Okay, so you will look through. Now, Gen Ed courses, what are Gen Ed courses? Quite simply, if in your degree program a course is marked as general education, then you need to make sure it appears here. I can tell you that as Lisa and I have been working on the business degree programs, actually there was a little bit of a change. Speech has not always been a Gen Ed requirement, so we had to move some things around. So make sure you're looking at that. Business major, what are these classes? Quite frankly, it's everything else. It's everything else. You have identified key courses to be the professional component. I'm going to talk about that. What is professional component? I'm going to explain that. But you're going to look at those courses, update them. Those are your professional courses. And folks, what's really helpful at this point is to have a copy of your degree program next to you and to check these off, because these have changed. You may find that advanced accounting applications for micros is not even in the degree program anymore. You may find that. And if that's the case, then you have to delete that course. Maybe something new, totally different, has been added. And if that's true, you need to add those 1 or 2 or 3 courses. Okay? All right. So you're going to, quite frankly, you're simply going to update these courses. Now, looking across, it says what area of study does this particular course address? And I am going to send you a document that will help you understand that. Now notice right now that this says the area of study for principles of accounting is 1. Here's the sheet that I'm going to send you. And actually for professional components area of study, item number 1 is accounting. Well, definitely accounting fits the accounting requirement. So that's a no-brainer. Thank heavens, right? Something easy. One little change though, under the new policy for ACBSP, they don't use, in this particular category, they do not use 1, 2, 3. They use ABC. So you will have to come over here and say, this should be category A. Oops, this should be category A. This should be, what are we doing now? I think this is accounting 1010. I'm going to show you the completed form in just a minute. So see how I've just made that update? I'm going to do the same thing here. What is this, accounting 1020? I think that's changed though. Hasn't this changed? I tell you a really easy way to look these things up. The beautiful, wonderful Southwest registration program lets me pull up courses quickly. So sure enough, accounting 1010, right? And accounting 1020. So I can see that. Oops, okay. I went to the wrong one. Okay, let me come back here. So this is accounting 1020. I've confirmed the name is the same, and I know that A, or that one is A. Now let me look at this one. Business Law, Finance 2300. Well, that's not right. I have to look up the business law class and find out what the new name and number is for that. And I need to make sure it still satisfies category number 8. Well, what is category number 8? On this document that I'm sending you, it says that that is a finance category. Well, I think that business law does touch on the financial aspects, because really what business law is talking about is the economic and legal impact. And so for that reason, it would fit towards finance. And so that would be category H. So I need to change that, make that an H, but of course I need to change this course name to the new course name. And I think, what is it? Legal environment of business. And so what I tend to do is I come over to Southwest registration. I know that this is a BUSN course. I just put BUSN there, and I'm going to look for, and you know what else you can do? Just look at the new degree program, and it should be listed there. You should find the equivalent course. BUSN 2370, Legal Environment of Business. So I would come over here, BUSN 2370, Legal Environment of Business. Now, you'll notice that as I'm typing, it's knocked everything out of whack there. I've got some extra tabs. Just delete those to pull that back into alignment. So you see what I'm doing. Now, I want to make sure that, you know, each of these courses still satisfy the necessary requirements. So I'm going to keep comparing to, like, income tax. I'm going to say, you know, let me make sure that that satisfies business and society, the international environment, legal, political, ethical behavior. Okay, so I need to make sure that that still satisfies that particular category. I need to update, you know, the numbers and that type of thing. I need to update the area of study, and I might need to update credit hours. Notice that that's marked as a 4 credit hour course. It's now a 3 credit hour course, so I need to update that. Now, I have how many courses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 times 3, this is now 15 credit hours. That's going to change, you know, my total credit hours. And it's also going to change the percentage, right? It's also going to change that. Well, okay, let's just do this. Let's make life easy. I'm going to open up Excel so that I can show you my handy dandy calculator that I'm going to use in Excel. If I have 15 credit hours and a 60 credit hour degree program, then 15 divided by 60 is 25%. Right? We can convert that to a percentage. You knew that though. So I need to change that. It's no longer 27, it's now 25. So that's category number 1. There was a lot of talking, but I think it's pretty simple. When you sit down to do it, you're going to get the hang of it in just a couple minutes. Now I'm going to look at the general education requirements. And since this is the accountancy degree, what I would do is I'm going to go over here to the catalog. And this confuses a lot of people because I'm not, in this case, interested in academic maps. They might have an error in it or a mistake. You need to go to the catalog. So from the main page, go to catalog, academic catalog, and then there's different ways to do this, but I'm looking for directory of programs. And since I'm working on accounting, I'm going to start with accounting. Right? So here's my programs, and I need to make sure that I've got all of these courses included, right? So that my degree program is very comprehensive. And specifically, I'm looking for those marked as Gen Ed for the Gen Ed category. So here's English Comp 1010. Yep, got that. Now, for educational goal, it tells me number 1. So let me look at my sheet. For professional component, I had to change these. For the general education requirement, it remains the same. And certainly English Comp satisfies written, interpretive, and oral facility with the English language. Okay, so certainly that still satisfies requirement number 1. So I just leave that requirement number 1, and it is still 3 credit hours. Mathematics, educational goal number 6. Well, I doubt that there will be any change in that knowledge of science and its application. For mathematics, we can put that in the science category. Sure. So you see what's going on here, right? Now, speech, we know that that has changed, and so I need to make sure. Let me open up Gary's wonderful program, and I can't remember the course number. You may not, so I'm just putting COM in there, and COM 2025 is now called Fundamentals of Communication, and it's 3 credit hours. So COM 2025 is now called Fundamentals of Communication. It's knocked my stuff out of alignment there. I'm just hitting delete. Obviously that's still going to satisfy requirement number 1, and it's 3 credit hours. So you see how this is working, right? You see how we're updating this. Now again, how many Gen Ed courses do I have? Because I need to make sure that I'm accounting for all of those. 1, 2. Well, okay, and this is not marked as, goodness, this is not marked as Gen Ed, but we know that math satisfies a Gen Ed requirement, so we might have to really make sure that, we might even find some errors that we need to let them know. We know humanities is a Gen Ed, right? And this is our social behavioral sciences requirement, so we need to make sure we're counting all of those. So Gen Ed for English 1, here's math 2, there's speech 3, here's our social behavior, there's 4, and there's our humanities 5. So I need to make sure that those Gen Ed requirements are listed, and sure enough, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's all of our categories. 5 times 3 credit hours is 15, and as we know from our earlier calculation, that's 25% of the degree. Now, at this point, there's 10 courses that I have accounted for. So when I look at my degree program, I should be checking these off. And I would see that, for example, Intro to Business has not been checked off. So where is that one going to be listed? It's going to be listed down here in the business major. And notice that that these are not categorized any further. And I said that, and I'm going to ask Carl or Lisa to weigh in on this particular subject. It looks like since this particular major is not business, which is what I'm used to dealing with, but instead it is accounting, that it would focus instead just on accounting. So I would want to make sure that all those accounting courses that are in here are properly listed. See, like accounting spreadsheets, where is that class? I would have to make sure. See, I don't see accounting spreadsheets, so I need to add that one in. I don't see any more advanced applications for micros, so I would need to delete that class because that's just not part of the degree anymore. So once you do that, and you see this is really not going to take you that long, folks, then you will end up with this. 2019. See how important that is, because oh my goodness, this would otherwise be so difficult to identify, right? I don't know, maybe we even want to put that on the actual paper. I don't know, but at least if it's in the file name, right? And if I zoom in on this so that you can see this more clearly. Oh, I have this as 26%. Oh, I have a mistake. I have a mistake there. That should be 25% as we did our calculations. We did not update that. So we need to update that. And you know why? Because I think I thought this was still a 4 credit hour class at first. So we might have a change that we need to make there. See how these are A's, B's, and H's? The course numbers have all been updated. This one probably needs a space in it, as does that one, right? And then what I would do, in fact, I am going to go ahead and I'll show you. See, we would have a finalized file that looks something like this. There are my professional components. I make sure it aligns as it needs to. Here are my general educations. Now, Gen Ed has changed just a little bit because we are not saying that any social behavioral science class will do. The new degree program very clearly says it has to be one of these two. So look how I've listed that. See how I've listed that? Here among the math classes, not any math Gen Ed will do. It has to be one of these courses. So we've listed that. And see how this particular one has to be 4 credit hours. So pay attention to that. When I'm adding up my credit hours, that's going to give me the 16, and thus 28%. Actually, so maybe that is 26. Maybe I shouldn't fool with that. Let me put that back. Okay, I'll leave that to Carl to check, because this is his degree program. And see how we need your expertise? Do you see how important that is? All right, so now as I look through here, look at this. Accounting Spreadsheets 1, Accounting Spreadsheets 2. These are the courses. And look, they even have a brand new forensic accounting report that was not, that only recently came into existence. So that's not going to be in the old that's not going to be in the old degree program. That's only going to be in the new one. So we need to make sure that we add that. So this, quite simply, is what you would email to Carl. And just like I'm kind of double checking this as part of the video, you can see how important having that second set of eyes look at the degree program is. And so, Carl is so good at doing that, and we desperately need his help on that. But, kind of just look across at how all these work. Final thing. In some cases, the degree has been terminated. So, for example, and I just went ahead and put this in the same document, the AAS degree in accountancy used to have a computer concentration as well, and we terminated this in the fall 2015, effective fall 2015 catalog. If your degree has been terminated, we need to know that. The on-site team may very well look at the 2009 and look at the, what we have in 2019 and say where something's missing. And you're just going to make life so easy for yourself, because as the person who is, the expert in this discipline, we're going to have to ask you, what happened to that degree? So if you go ahead and look that up now and find out when it was terminated, oh, you're just going to make life so much easier. Now, as you look through this, I did not update this. No one updated this because it was terminated. So why should we go through the trouble of updating all the courses? This is not something that's been offered. But I didn't delete anything. I just simply marked it as terminated. Okay? So hopefully that makes things easy. I know this was a little bit of a long video, but it saves us from all having to meet. And so I really hope that you watch this, and in that way, if we need to get together for a working session, it will not be a teaching session. It will just be something where you can hopefully have almost everything done and then just attack the very final parts. All right? So thank you for your 25 minutes, folks. I appreciate you. And if you have questions, email Carl, email me, email Lisa, and I think between the three of us we could get it answered. But I think we should use Carl as since he's the leader for this criterion, if he can be the central point of communication, that would probably be the best. Thank you.